In Morocco, two people were shot dead after security forces opened fire on a crowd in a town near Agadir. Authorities say they were trying to storm a police station at the time. Morocco has been rocked by youth protests for days now, but these were the first fatalities since people started taking to the streets 5 nights ago in anger over the state of public services. Well, we're going to talk more about these youth protests in Morocco now with William Lawrence, a professor at American University and the former North Africa project director at International Crisis Group. William, thanks so much for taking the time to speak to us. First of all, two people now killed by security forces in Morocco. Could this be a tipping point for these protests?
It already is. Morocco is particularly good in North Africa, in the Arab world, in not killing protesters and not causing a lot of injury, as we saw in the Arab Spring, as we saw in the Iraq protests and other protest waves and moments in Morocco. They're very good at containing protests without creating martyrs for the crowd, and they're very good at meeting some of the demands and just allowing protest and allowing it not to go too far. This, however, is a very serious moment where we've had, hundreds of police injured, many more hundreds of young Moroccans injured and arrested, and now deaths, in addition to 23 injuries and someone in critical condition who I think had lost a leg and is in very serious condition. So this means it's gone too far. This means it's moving into a next stage. The Moroccan government at first also got the messaging all wrong, talking down to the young people, saying that they, needed to be, brought up again, taught manners by the prime minister if they couldn't learn it from their parents. And the messaging's gotten a little better lately, but Morocco, which usually does the right things, is doing the wrong things in these protests in 12 cities now and growing. So it could be a tipping point for more protest and more difficulties for the government.
Indeed, and perhaps not just in Morocco. These protests, like many around the world at the moment in Madagascar or Nepal, are being led by young people. Can you draw any links between these youth-led protests around the world? Do you think we could be seeing a new sort of Arab Spring, perhaps globally?
Yeah, of course, it wouldn't be an Arab Spring if it's globally, but you're absolutely right. And these things do happen in waves. In the Arab Spring, we had protests in 18 countries of various levels. A lot of it was undercovered in the media because there just weren't enough stringers, all around the different countries to cover it. And a lot of the Arab Spring stories, historians haven't fully told all the stories yet. And we had the Iraq protests, you may remember. We've had what was called Arab Spring 2.0 at one point in 4 countries in 2019. And there were some questions about a 3.0 starting with Syria. The Syrian victory emboldening some people, but these Moroccans have self-consciously styled themselves after the Nepal Genz protest. They called it Genz 212, which is the Moroccan telephone country code, and they want it to be global. They want youth around the world to be rising up on the same social issues, economic issues, corruption issues that affect a lot of young people in a lot of countries. Now, Morocco's had some local triggering episodes. 8 women died of C-sections in a southern hospital, and that's why a lot of these protests are more concentrated in the south, because there's a health aspect of this. But Morocco, is acting locally as part of what they hope is a global movement.
Just very briefly before you go, how do you see all of this developing? Where do you see these protests in Morocco going?
The protests will get wider and stronger and bigger for a certain period of time. Whether they last just more days or more weeks and months depends more than anything else on the Moroccan government's response. If the Moroccan government continues to take some of the wrong moves that they made, it will make this go longer and deeper, just as we saw in the Arab Spring. What happened in the Arab Spring in terms of getting bigger and longer or not depended more than anything else on the government response.
William, thank you for that. William Lawrence there speaking to me from Washington. Thank you.